Welcome to the Manifestation and Money podcast, where we bridge the worlds of the taboo topic of money with the woo-woo world of manifestation. We're your hosts, Chris and Jenni Schultz.
We're not just about dollars and cents around here. We're all about lifestyle design. You can be working towards financial independence while still living a life you love today.
Get ready for insightful conversations with guests who have embraced the FIRE movement by achieving financial independence and retiring early, as well as entrepreneurs and individuals who defied the norm and have paved their own way to a life they love.
Together, we'll explore the powerful connection between mindset, financial freedom, and living a purposeful life. And of course, we'll be sharing our own journey to how we carved our path to a seven-figure net worth before hitting the big 4-0. Are you ready to ignite your financial future? Then let's dive right in.
Welcome to the Manifestation and Money podcast, where your journey to financial independence and the life you love begins now.
Hey, it's Jenni here, and my guest on the show today is Dr. Wendy Labat. Dr. Wendy Labat, the financial healer, is the CEO of the Financial Cures. She is the creator of the Financial Cures system, which is a results-based program for financial mastery. Dr. Wendy is the best-selling author of the Financial Cures book series, Diagnose Your Financial Health and Optimize Your Financial Health. She is the producer and host of the award-winning global streaming production of Financial Cures with Dr. Wendy Labat. She is an award-winning entrepreneur, business strategist, and international speaker, and I am so excited to introduce you guys to her today. Welcome to the show, Dr. Wendy.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I really appreciate you inviting me.
I am so excited to have you as a guest today. So can you please share with the audience a little bit about you and who you are and your story?
Okay, well, I'll be glad to. I'm Dr. Wendy Labat. I'm known as the financial healer. I've started my entrepreneurial journey not almost, as a matter of fact, this month it's been 4 decades. I can't believe I'm saying 4 decades, but 4 decades ago when I started my office equipment company, I didn't have any business experience and very limited financial resources. And this was a time when there was no internet or social media. So the only thing you can do with the cell phone was make an expensive phone call. And, my clients were corporations and government agencies. So in order to do business with them, to get significant business, you had to project a certain image. And that meant, a brick and mortar office with employees, carry inventory and all the overhead that goes with it. Like I said, I was a rookie entrepreneur, but I went on and I projected that image, and that image was expensive. And I learned a lot of lessons. I didn't know what I was doing, but I enjoyed it so much that I was going to learn, what to do. So right when I didn't think things were going to work out, I said, okay, Lord, I'm hanging in there. I love doing this. I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I ended up getting my first big contract. And then that was a whole nother story, because even though you get the business on the books, you got to have the money in the bank. So I learned about, cash flow and all that, things like that. And it was good. But after, 15 years or so, I got married again, and I ended up getting out of that corporate clientele business. And in 2014, when the government mandated that, I guess the U.S. government mandated that everybody have health insurance, I expanded my business to include insurance and financial services. So I bought all the coverages and things that I was selling to my clients, because, they were asking, well, what do you have and where's your money? And I wanted to honestly be able to tell them what I had, what worked for me, and where my money was. So in 2017, I was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of breast cancer. So I said, okay, breast cancer, are you going to be aggressive? I'm going to be aggressive. So I chose a very aggressive form of treatment, which meant chemotherapy every 3 weeks for a year, 5 surgeries, all the CAT scans, PET scans, and all that goes with it. And I ended up conquering the disease, but that process accumulated almost $1.5 million worth of medical bills.
Ooh.
And, I'm like, oh, Lord, but thank God I practice what I preach, because can you imagine having that kind of medical, expense hanging over you with your business and your personal expenses? But because I did practice what I preach and had the proper protection, my health insurance paid all that. And not only that, all the supplemental policies and things and coverages that I got that I never thought I'd have. I just bought them because I was selling them. They ended up bringing me in multiple six-figure tax-free financial shots in the arm. So I'm like, thank you, Jesus. So I could focus on my recovery and not worry about money. So, once I kind of got over the cancer, I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm in my comfort zone, I am good. And he said, no, I brought you through this journey better, to come out better than you went in, so you can empower other people to not let an illness or injury ruin them financially. And you're going to empower people with financial cures to be able to take control of their finances, have proper protection, and have the right mindset, and become financially free to live the life they desire. So that's what I do, and that's all about me.
I love that. I love how you were able to go through that. Like, cancer, a scary thing, and not only come out of it healthy, happy, grateful for what you have, but then being able to flip it into, now how can I empower other people with this, what I've gone through. So that's beautiful. And you labeled the financial healer. So I have to say, I love that. Like, I think it's so easy for people to say, I'm bad with money, and just have that as an excuse. But when you look at finances with the intention that there's a cure, it opens up a whole world of possibility. So for a person coming from a place of possibility, I think that's a beautiful lens. Like, you're looking at your website and you can see how you're a best-selling author because your words like anorexic income, and even your email signature has sow a seed, reap a harvest. It's so to the point. And as a reader, I immediately get what that is. I would love to chat with you about that gift you have of writing and pairing it with your financial expertise and how you're using it to empower people.
Well, I'm really just being obedient. Like I said, I've been around for a while, so I've learned my lessons the hard way. I've had the anorexic income, obese, debt. I've had all those ills, and I found the cure the hard way in a lot of cases. Early on, when you're young, you don't want to hear what other people are telling you to do. But, from experience, you learn. And then, like I said, just knowing that the Spirit has led me to this, the financial healer, financial cures. Because when I signed up with a guy to brand me, and he said financial healer, it's like, oh, I don't like that. I don't want to be the financial healer. But then it's like, okay, financial healer is working pretty good. And it's just a matter of sharing the knowledge and experience that I have with others, because people are, hurting financially more so because they don't know how to get out of it, how to cure those ills. They just basically are, they're suffering because they want to know, but they don't know, and they don't a lot of times know where to go. So I just try to, give a simple path, because people want money, but if you can't handle, like the Bible says, if you're not good with a little, how are you going to be good with a lot? So I try to make sure that people can understand how to be good with the little. And once it becomes a lot, then you know how to manage it properly. So it's, it's kind of a biblical and a financial. It's not, and I make the distinction between financial health and financial literacy, because people confuse and conflate those. I mean, you can be financially literate and still have poor, even fatal financial health. And, I'm financially literate, but sometimes my financial health gets bad. So you have to monitor it. It's just like your physical health. People focus on, mental health, physical health, and even social health since the pandemic. But I focus on financial health.
I like that. And do you find, since the pandemic and kind of throwing the world into this inflationary loop that we're in, do you find that's amplifying people's need to read your book series and to learn more about their financial literacy, therefore to be able to implement it into their own life?
I do, because there are a lot of ways, I talk about easing the pain of inflation, because you can ease the pain of inflation by taking advantage of different, strategies that I, have my clients do. Like, for one, all my clients have to go through a spending challenge. And what that is monitoring your spending. Right now, I'm doing a 7-day for people that, just anybody that wants to participate. But for my clients, you got to do it for 30 days, because it gives you a realistic picture of where your money is going. Because, people, they make a lot of money, but then, when time comes, like, well, where is my money? And that's because they're spending subconsciously and don't realize. I have one of my clients, it was so funny because he's a businessman. He did the spending challenge. And after 30 days, he said, well, Dr. Wendy, I spent $600 eating out. I'm like, okay, well, you're a businessman. You took some of your clients out. He said, no, it was me, my wife, and sometimes the grandkids. And it wasn't that he couldn't afford to spend 600, but it was an aha moment. He's like, $600, the only thing I got to show for a few extra pounds. He could have, paid something or invested in something or build up his reserve. So, it kind of gives you. People say, oh, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. But that spending challenge helps them find the money in their own budget to be able to pay for the things they think they can't afford. That Starbucks coffee, you're spending $6-7 a cup per day. That'll pay a utility bill at the end of the month. So people have to change their way of thinking.
I like that. And I like being able to look back on it, and like your client there with the $600 eating out bill, then he gets to proactively go, where else can I be putting this money? Now he feels like he has a choice, and going into the next month, he has a choice of where he's putting his money.
Yeah, and he's more conscious about spending money eating out. It's like, before it's just whip out the car, you go to a restaurant, and take your wife or whatever. But when you're, see that money adds up, then you're going to think, well, maybe I don't need to eat out. Maybe I need to go ahead and buy some groceries and take it home and cook, or, be a little more, not frugal, but more conscious about where your money is going.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're saying you put your clients through it for 30 days. Now, can anybody join into your 7-day challenge?
It's free. It's for anybody who wants to do it. And I find that, I only do 7 days for free just because people want to go beyond. And I recommend they do, because that'll give you a bigger, clearer picture of where your money is actually going for a 30-day period.
I think just to have the in-your-face accountability of, I am the one spending this money, or I am the one, and at the end of the month, this is what my money looks like. It gives you power.
Yeah. And it's not just pulling out the card or paying cash, it's tracking. You're actually writing down, and then you're distinguishing whether what you purchased, was it something you really needed or just a want? Was it something, and I help people to, realize, is this an expense or is this a debt? Are you spending just because you feel good about it, or just some emotional thing? Whatever it is, you see where that money is going, and you see how you're spending. Are you paying it with a debit card, cash, or a credit card? Because if you're paying it with a credit card and you're not paying that credit card off at the end of the month, that meal or whatever it is you bought is costing you more than what you paid for it at the time. So it's, it's more of a discipline. It helps you with your discipline. It helps you with your thinking, to kind of unlock that millionaire mindset, because, millionaires, they don't spend a lot of money. They find alternative ways of getting what they want without spending their own money.
That is a very valid point. So your first book is titled
Diagnose Your Financial Health.
Diagnose Your Financial Health. So can you give the listeners, I'm sure going through the challenge is helping the part of the diagnosis, but some golden nuggets from that book? Like, how does one start by diagnosing their financial health?
Well, first you have to start by taking a realistic look. A lot of people say, okay, I know what my expenses are. I know, how much money I get in, but they don't track their spending. They don't really track all the money that comes in. They may just consider like their paycheck or retirement or Social Security, whatever their main source of income is, but they don't count maybe cash gifts, or, people that may gamble or play the lottery. If they get a windfall, they don't count that. If you do something on the side, have a little side hustle, they don't count that. They look at that like icing on the cake. But you have to look at every source of, revenue that you get. And you have to, look at it realistically. So you look at that, and then you want to look at what your expenses are and your debt. And you have to distinguish between expenses and debt, because expenses come around every month. If you like your light bill, you pay it off, zero balance, next month you got a balance. A car note, you pay it off for a specific amount of time, like maybe you finance it for 36 months. After that 36 payment, that's eliminated, and you can take those funds and do something else with it. But a lot of people just kind of clump it all into one thing, and you really have to think in boxes when it comes to those kind of things, especially when you're trying to eliminate debt. And like I said, there are a lot of, things that people just need to be real with themselves, because I tell my clients now, look, don't front with me because, I can't help you. And you really don't front with yourself, because if you're not looking at it realistically, then you're not going to be able to make the changes you need to change to get to where you want to go. The diagnosis is just like with an illness. If you get the right diagnosis, then you can cure that illness. If you get the wrong diagnosis or want to, put your head in the sand about your diagnosis, then there's nothing, you're going to be the same. You're going to get worse, really.
Yeah, we don't want a bunch of flamingos running around.
I know.
So now that takes us to book 2 of yours. So Optimize Your Financial Health. Can you give us some tidbits out of that one?
Well, Optimize is really giving you some strategies on how to, get to the optimum level. I talk about living the VIP life, using points, rewards, and miles. I'm an avid believer of taking advantage of those loyalty programs, because, you're doing whatever it is or going to the place wherever you frequent, wherever you eat or shop or buy gas, they've got loyalty programs, and you need to take advantage of those because there are a lot of benefits there. I know I travel a lot, and I'm a Marriott person, and I'm titanium elite. So when I book my rooms going to anywhere, matter of fact, I'm going to go to Dallas, I'm staying 7 nights. So I use my points to book those 7 nights, but I use it for the low end points. And when I get there, they're going to upgrade me to a suite because I'm at that level, but it's not costing me anything, So that's what I'm talking about. But, normally I would have to pay. I think the room was going, the suites, I don't know, I think like $2 something a night or $2.99 or whatever it was, times 7 is too much for me to be paying, when I can get it for free. And it's things like that. I shop at Kroger, get my prescriptions and everything there. So when it's time for me to get gas, I can get up to $1 off a gallon. And thank God gas is getting cheaper now. But at one time, gas was pretty high, and $1 off made a big difference because I have a big SUV, and, I saved, $20, $30 with that, just that benefit. But some people just leave that money on the table.
Interesting. Now that is personally just making me have an aha moment, because there is a credit card that I have. And it's a credit card that I got for our rental business. And I opted to get the no fee one. I'm like, I don't want to pay a one-time annual fee. Well, I guess it's a reoccurring annual fee. But I wonder in hindsight if the rewards program would outweigh what that piddly little fee is that I'm saving at the beginning of the year.
With that, I'm American Express girl. And that, you pay that out, so you're not going to have the debt. But matter of fact, I've redone my husband's man cave with all the points that I've accumulated with American Express, with Home Depot, with Lowe's, buying different, materials. I've gotten appliances, refrigerators, dishwashers, because, I got to pay my bills every month. So why not get rewarded? Just check the terms on it, and I recommend to my clients, a lot of people, you got to have that discipline when it comes to the credit cards. You can't just get them and use them and think you're going to get all these points, which you'll get them. But if you don't pay it off like you should, then, you'll be accumulating debt. But there are debit cards that give you cash back. And I, encourage them to take advantage of that, especially if you pay your bills, checks are kind of outdated, but a lot of people will pay with debit cards. But I know a lot of the credit unions have cash back debit cards, but I would look into that with your bank or, whatever financial institution you're using, find out what rewards or cash back cards they have. And I'm an avid believer that my kids, they're grown, but they all points people too, because they see the benefits I get as well.
Yeah. That almost seems like a fun way to look at money too, right? How can you have that VIP lifestyle without having to pay for it out of your own pocketbook?
Yeah. And I have a course about that too, a little mini course, because my husband and I, we went to Dallas and then went to California. But anyway, we ended up flying first class. Once you go first class, it's hard to go back. But we went first class, and it only cost me the administration, processing fee for the two of us. And those tickets were like, I think about, $1,800 a piece. So, it's that kind of stuff where you can, live large and, travel large without paying large.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Now, let's lead into what people can get excited for that's next for Dr. Wendy, and that's your book number 3.
Yes, I am going to be releasing book number 3, probably the third or fourth quarter of this year. It's called Protect Your Financial Health. Because, from my story, you can tell that was a big thing, having the proper protection, or else I'd probably still be paying those medical bills off. A lot of people, they underestimate the power of having, life insurance, health insurance, and, they'll insure their cell phone, but they won't have health insurance. And, they've got programs and plans out here where you can get health insurance. Matter of fact, I'm an agent, and I wrote quite a few policies for health insurance with 0 premiums, where people didn't have to pay anything. But I have, folks paying $50 a month, $20 a month, $100 a month. But even so, it's a matter of, if they say, I can't afford it, it's like, stop drinking that Starbucks coffee every day. That's your health insurance premium right there. But there are a lot of the plans that have benefits. Like one carrier I write for, they have a benefit called My Rewards Pays, again, rewards. And, you do certain things, you get a physical, you get points, you do activities, you get points, and you can earn up to $500 on a prepaid Visa that can be used just like a regular prepaid Visa. You can take it to the store, you can pay your premiums, you can, eat out if you want to. But, people are not looking at it that way. I had some folks that one guy, I wanted to smack him upside his head, excuse my language, but I was talking to him about health insurance. He said, oh, I don't get sick. And he owns a business, has employees. I said, just because you haven't gotten sick doesn't mean you won't get sick. And it doesn't mean there's not something wrong with you now. I said, but the point is, if it does happen, you're going to come out of pocket for the full amount. Protect yourself. Why not pay a few dollars a month to get the coverage you need? And it's mostly guys that you have to kind of knock them upside the head to make them realize this is a priority. You talking about what you're responsible for. That's why you need it even more than, others. So,
yeah,
but that's the thing.
You're proactively trying to knock them upside the head so that down the road, their loved ones aren't proactively knocking them upside the head later, saying, why didn't you protect yourself?
And protect us, because if he's not protecting himself, he's not protecting his family or his business, So you have to realize that proper protection, like they said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That's your ounce of prevention.
Mm-hmm. Well said. So what is the overall experience or outcome that you hope the reader has from reading your series?
Well, I hope they come out feeling like, okay, I can do this. I can go from where I am, and realistically where I am, to where I want to be, and have the strategies to do it, and have the knowledge and mindset and understanding of the tools that are available for them to get there. So I just want to empower people, because that's what it's all about. I don't want people to feel like they can't do it. It's not that you can't, it's that you won't do it. So, I just want people to have, the understanding to be able to cure their financial ills. And that's the whole, strategy behind the book series.
Yes, I 100% support that. And that is why we have you on the show, because you are making a big impact out there. Now, what is the biggest piece of advice that Dr. Wendy has for someone trying to create the lifestyle they love and carve their own path to financial independence?
I have a mantra, which kind of sums it all up. So I don't know if you want the mantra or if you want me to give you like a little breakdown.
I would love to hear your mantra.
Okay, well, my mantra is, if you think right, speak right, and do right, things will flow right to optimize your financial health. And, when I say things, I want people to understand it's not just money, but it's your relationships, your understanding, your, discernment on, making decisions, your relationships with people around you, and just, things that you need just to move to the next level.
That is a beautiful mantra. I love that. And I think that is an amazing note to close it on. So where can the listeners go to connect more with you and get more of your brilliance?
Okay, well, first I'd like to talk about, even though I have a website, we're tweaking that now, but I love putting out, I got a TV show called Financial Cures with Dr. Wendy Labat. It airs, matter of fact, we just went live yesterday on Zandra TV network, but I have a site that you can go to because, everybody's not streamers or, I'm old school and a lot of folks say, well, I don't know how to do all that, but they can go to FinCures, FINCURES.com. That's FINCURES.com. And you can see the first 2 seasons. The first season has 6 episodes and it's about your personal finance. The second season has 6 episodes and it's about your business finances. And we're going to film season 3 in June. So I'm excited about that. And it's going to be the level up season because, we give you some basics on personal and business. Now it's time to level up. So that's what season 3 is going to be about. And that site also has, my contact information, but you can always, contact me on any of the social media at Dr. Wendy Labat on Facebook and LinkedIn. And I think Instagram is, dr.wendy.labat. And thefinancialcures.com is my website. So any of those, but I recommend, check out the TV show and, it's global streaming, 24/7 and live if you want to catch me on Tuesdays at 11 Eastern time on Zandra TV network, but that'll give you a lot of good information in the meantime.
I love that. Yeah, you can pop it on like an iPad or something and have it beside you while you're prepping dinner and get more of your wisdom. Well, how exciting is that? Thank you so much for being on the show with me, Dr. Wendy. I know the listeners are truly inspired from listening to you.
Well, thank you for having me. And I hope I was able to empower some of your listeners to go from where they are to where they want to be and cure those financial ills.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Manifestation and Money podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation and want to continue your journey to financial empowerment and creating a life you love, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review.
Come follow us on Instagram at Manifestation and Money Podcast or at 4Leaf Lifestyle for more inspiration and behind the scenes content. Remember, your life is yours to live. Your financial freedom journey is as unique as you are. So hop in the driver's seat. It's time to create the life of your dreams.